All right, greetings. Well, here we are in the midst of a real, like, complete spiritual battle, epic battle, and so many parallels in, biblical parallels and other parallels about what's going on now. Very exciting time to be alive. As we're witnessing nothing short of the entire folly of man collapsing, including the banks, the institutions, military. So 300 despots rule over 8 billion people. And they have no intention, I think you see by now, of, they'll fund you for riots and tell you about a universal income and tell you communism is the only fair way, but they have no intention of putting that system in place. And what the system they want is depopulation, number one. That's going on now. They're already starting with the bird flu, which if the bird flu really got loose and they really did something with that, that would be because they weaponize it, just like they did with COVID. It's a pandemic. And so they're all, they're now going to go for a major kill. And a lot of people are beginning to wake up in the sense of they're understanding that, the things they used to do, the cultures they were members of, the Tulip Society, the heavy metal group, the ski society, this society, that society. All of these things in society are false. None of them will help you. You can't reboot any of them. This is not that time. So people are saying if they're just going to kill everybody, yes, and all the animals and all the stuff and take away all the food and starve people to death and kill them with disease and flu and everything else, yes. What's the point in living? Well, the point is you're finally able to see that. And if you say, well, I've always known it's like that, well, what did you think the cause was? What did you think the cause was? There's some of us who have this burden of, I admit it's hard to take when you understand what they're going to do. And you see people trying to go on with their lives like nothing, as if nothing's going on. And they keep trying to do the same thing, only the interest rates are going higher. The bills at the supermarket are going through the roof. All the fees that people pay for everything going through the roof. Dollars becoming, it's serious attack on all these fronts. So I understand the whole need for people to become suicidal, and I've been, an outcast for a long time in society. So I've been suicidal, been through all that, felt rejected by it all. But once you misstep, for the people that are real true outcasts, it means they misstepped. Sometimes people go to prison, mental hospitals, or just wind up on the street, whatever, and nobody wants them. And then they experience, being singled out or being targeted, and they go through this whole thing that people are now en masse going through, at least the ones that are honest. The ones that think it's going to keep going, I suppose kids would think that. They're gonna overturn the United States, and they're gonna have their own sort of proletariat with their own system based on fairness and not based on hatred and racism and all that. And it's just a bunch of hooey. The whole thing's fake. The whole thing is 100% propaganda and fake. Just like Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ, all that stuff. It's all designed to have this, to bring this one world control in, but it's also depopulation, and that's where you guys come in. They don't intend to let you live. I don't care. You can wave the commie flag and have your pentagrams and your circles and call yourself a witch and do all this stuff. It doesn't matter. You're out of here. You're already marked off. The things that you have already been pledged to other people. Your property, for example. You're just at this point a dead man walking, and you don't even know it. So your culture, what would be the culture? Say your endeavor isn't going to take care of you. And say the people that are heavy metal and they feel like they're rebelling against the man. You weren't. That is the man. It's not going to help you. Oh, they keep the suits in the background and out of sight, but I mean that is the man. They're not going to let a business like that get run by stupid people. I mean, stupid to the game, right? Pure hearts have no room in this society for anything. So you say, why would we even try? Why even get out of bed? Why even do it? And the answer is so that you could arrive at the point you've arrived at. Now, instead of suicide, my proposal is, to keep learning more about the simulation that you live in and more, like what I like to do, what helps me is when I start laughing at it. And sometimes I can't help it. It's just, it's not that funny. I mean, when you realize, the death toll that's coming very soon, and it's already here. But it gives me a little bit of relief. And then I think, well, how can I reach people? How can I convince them, not to commit suicide? How can I, which is, I give it to you. It's a perfectly logical thing. I have been there myself many times. And because I'm a deep thinker a lot of the time, and I feel things very deeply. And I've been wounded by rejection and betrayal, and just it's all manner of evil stuff. And just like a lot of people, but I didn't have a safety net necessarily of society to then to catch me and say, oh, it's okay, just enslave yourself to this guy or that guy and do a little more. You know what I mean? It's not Satanism. It's just our system. It's no, just conform and you'll be okay. Just find, as Neil Young says, find someone that's turning and you will come around. Almost to put it into vampire language, turning meaning to turn you to the devil. So, that's exactly what he meant. There's no other way of looking at it. I just take people at their word. If that's not what he meant, then he could explain that. And that doesn't matter to me. The point is, the world is the world. The system is the system. And it's fake, based on lies. So where you are right now, discovering that 300 people are going to enslave 8 billion and then kill most of them, is a good place. God is allowing you to see things that you couldn't see before. And you see these people, thinking that, they do the same thing over and over again. They get ready for the big, Super Bowl, and then we'll make that into a big satanic ritual. Oh, there's no ritual there. That was not a satanic ritual. Beyonce is not a witch. None of that's going on. What are you talking about? Well, all the people that became outcasts because they saw things like that. Good for you. Good on you, because you are close. Now, to have a real euphoria about all this, to be like a euphoria angel, there's just euphoria flying around in euphoria, it's just the love vibe. You have to get close to the source, to the Lord, to God. And the reason I emphasize Jesus is because, this was shown to me that this is not, you're not really dealing with, you're dealing with a various aspects of the one God. You know what I mean? And so Jesus is that part. And because he was rejected by the world, and especially by America, not just the Jews, but America, the guy that is the most rejected, that's my man. And is he a man? Is he a woman? No, he's neither one. The creator is just the creator. We put these gods, this idea of God, into an anthropocentric form. Like a man, like an old man, Yahweh with the old beard and all that. That's all. It's got nothing to do with it. That's not even real. It's just a folklore. Okay. You're dealing with true quantum forces. You're dealing with true physics here of the entire totality. So when your heart changes and your focus changes, everything in your universe changes. So you got to put your attention on God. And the only way to do that, and the only way I can do that, is through Jesus. And I have no control over Jesus. I have to ask the Lord, Lord, please take me. Please show me. Please teach me. I'm yours if you want me. But I can't choose myself. I just know that that's the solution. And if that's what you're thinking, even though, they will make you a pariah, they will come try to burn your house down. If you even the word Jesus offends them so greatly that they go on the warpath. And why do they do that? Because it's a cosmic hatred. It transcends time and space. Because it proves that God is true and every man a liar. It proves the truth. That's why. If there was persecution for Buddha, I would say, well, we better look at Buddhism then. But I don't look at religion. Christianity has already failed, so there's no point in that. It just has to be, and also knowing the name comes first. With me, I had no idea whether Jesus was a cool dude or whatever. I had no idea until, I had an experience with God, and I asked him, if you're real, please help me. I'm ready for suicide. I'm ready for death. I'm beyond suicide. I'm beyond death. I'm so strung out on these drugs and all this stuff. I don't know. I just can't make it another step. And I just broke down, completely at the end of my rope. And, so I'm dealing with the Lord, with God, and I'm learning all this stuff about what happened. And he's telling me, and I tell my mother, did you do this and that to me or to us, or was this you? Did you, and she got all, completely freaked out at the accuracy of that. So I was like, oh man, I'm getting some downloads of information that are absolutely 100% accurate, not demonic at all. And then, this all just began, and I'm like around the fourth or fifth day of just all day long being with God, and learning one thing after another about what happened to me, from a child, trying to piece it like a detective, trying to piece it together to find out where the blame is or what happened, I'm standing in front of the mirror in the bathroom, and this voice comes to me, you don't need Jesus. You've got God direct. And everyone will love you for that, just being a guy of God and God direct. And just like those healers out there, they get hundreds of thousands of people lining up. You can be very popular, God direct. You don't need to complicate it with Jesus. That's a good way to, what is it?
Benson resents that.
What? God direct?
He does.
Well, God direct is not, there's no such thing as God direct. That's why. Anyway, there's no such thing as wag the dog. Okay, there's no such thing as you control God. Like when you decide that you're going to become a godly person, it's just going to happen. No, it's not. It's you're subject to that will. You're subject to the will of God, and if you want to know more about the truth, you can go into Scripture and you find statements like many are called and few are chosen, and not everybody is fit for the kingdom of God. Not everybody is. Jesus made a great example. The guy goes, well, I got to go home and bury my father first, and I'm going to come back and join you, good people. And Jesus says to him, let the dead bury the dead. Get the hell out of here. Done. Wash your hands up. So for people that don't understand all this, there's a lot for you to learn. But here's the thing. You will be taught. But you have to trust. There's an entire... I can't even tell. I don't even know how many angels there are and beings and other, realms and dimensions to consider, but there's a ton of them. And none of them are like this with these stupid shit fuck idiot, brain dead Larry Fink guys or like, pedantic Bill Gates. or any of that stuff, trying to, getting off on torturing as many people as they can in the name of saving the earth. I mean, that is like, if people fall for that, like I say, I don't think God will rescue them. They love their delusion. They're in love with lies. They want mommy to lie to them again about how everything's going to be all right. Just follow the rules that you learned in high school and, make the right moves. And you too are going to be back on top again. Don't even worry about it. The system made the circle remain unbroken. And the circle is broken. And so your suicidal ideation and all that, you're saying, why even live if it's going to be like this? All of that is you don't want to go through what's going to happen. That's all good. Yay, hallelujah. Let's celebrate that. That's all good stuff. But there are further layers that have to come off the onion. Each of us is like an onion, and it's like God won't share you with anybody. It's like you're just going to have to, it's the wedding of the lamb. You just got to make a decision. You're going to go with the lamb or you're going to burn to death. And unfortunately, it just comes down to that. It's not dualism. It's not my role, because I was pretty much a multi-religion, multi-philosophy person, comparative religion, comparative philosophy. I focused on Hinduism, Sanskrit, the Vedas, also Buddhist philosophy, and as it became Zen philosophy. I was very involved in all that, the Vedanta Society, all that stuff. And had any of that been accurate at all? I'm sorry, to the people of India, but had any of that been, or Thailand for that matter, but had any of the people really been, accurate? Boy, I sure could have used it. No, but the closest I got was, you can move in with the guru and become his slave, and he's really a substitute for God. So you're really just enslaving yourself to God. So it's okay. That kind of thing. I don't know if you understand that, if you've been on that journey or not, but this isn't that. Consider this a remedy for your sorrow. Imagine having the peace that surpasses understanding despite the carnage. Just knowing where you're going to go. I mean, my goal is not, reincarnation scared the hell out of me. I didn't want to come back here. And when I was going to die, I was not that afraid of it, because again, it's not like it's easy for anyone. Most people are right now in a tremendous struggle and being tremendously abused, and they don't even know why. They think that they can't get beyond the idea of the way society is constructed. Society is going to collapse. And that's basically because it was built by flimsy people. You know what I mean? And it's run its course. So that's all I'm going to say. Let that wash over you. God bless you. See you next time.